Morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Oh, can't hear you, Ellie. Can't hear you, Ellie.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Fantastic. Hi, Saima. How you
Hi,
doing
how are
today?
you?
I'm fine.
Thank
Great.
you for having me.
Thank you. And it's a fantastic morning for us to start, and we have the opportunity to um, give some ideas. But before we start, I'm going to present myself. Not many people know who I am, and then I'll pass over to you as well.
No
So,
problem.
my name is Ellie. I am the founder and the maths lecturer for Anywhere Academy International. And we have Saima here with us today. And we're going to discuss a few things with regards to students that speak other languages besides English, and they need to learn those skills and how they can get those skills up and running without having the discomfort. So, Saima is going to give some hints. But before I pass over to Saima, I'll give you a few hints of who's Saima. So, Saima, she's an English lecturer. She's been teaching for over 20 years. She's also one of our tutors for Anywhere Academy International. And she's also our quality assurance. So she makes sure our courses are on point for all the students. When they come in, they have all the resources ready and they can make the most out of it. So I'll pass over to Simon. So, Simon, would you like to
Thank you,
start?
Ellie. Thank you so much. The funny thing is, I've just finished teaching a session, and it was very interesting as well because I think one of the most important things about learning online is making sure that you've got a good rapport with your learners and being able to engage with them and talk to them so that they feel comfortable. So it's not it's not something that you can just do quite easily. I think definitely you have to have a little bit of confidence in yourself and feel comfortable about what you're doing.
Definitely. And Simon, you have proven that over and over again because of the success of your students.
Thank you.
And I can see the way they're developing. And today's session as well, I'm going to ask everyone if you want to send some comments on the chat, we'll be here to answer some of them. There might be a few seconds delay, so bear with us. This is going to be around 10 to 15 minutes. So if you post your questions, anything you would like to ask me or Simon with regards to learning English, just post them on the comments or on the chat, and we'll be able to answer them as we go along. And today, Simon, one of the things that we selected as a must, because you teach a lot of students that speak English, but at the same time they have difficulties in learning. So
Mhm.
sometimes they don't feel comfortable coming to a class, especially an online class. So the
Mhm.
first time they come in, they're nervous, they have issues expressing themselves. So what kind of advice would you give to students of other languages to feel more comfortable with English?
I think that it's really, really important to understand why you're coming to learn English. I mean, English is one of the most difficult languages to learn. And when students come in to learn English, they they can be quite nervous because learning a new language is not easy. They've got to think about why they're learning. And understanding the purpose of learning English is really important for them because many people will be quite qualified, they'll be quite experienced in what they've done already. But the only barrier might be the language because of the country they're in. So learning English if they're living in the UK can be quite challenging for them. And it's understanding where they can learn and how they can learn. But for themselves, it's really important that they keep in mind their goal, why they're learning English. If they're learning English to help them continue with their work or to study further, it's going to help them to come to the classes, and whether they're learning online or in on site, wherever they choose. But to understand that it's something that's going to take time. They need to be consistent, sort of come to the classes, attend regularly, manage their time. There's lots of different things that can affect how a person learns, but understand your goal. That's the first thing. Understand why you're coming to learn English, and make sure that you're being consistent, arriving on time, doing the work, taking it off and practicing. Because if you don't use what you're learning, you will definitely lose it. I have to say that. You will definitely forget what you've learned in a session if you're not building on what you've learned.
Yeah, definitely. There is a correlationship between learning English and putting some effort in.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
love that. And it is what we see with our students. They know that they need to put that effort, and I can see their progress. You make
Mhm.
sure they have absolutely every resource on our platform for them to kind of learn the language skills, which is key. So I really appreciate that. So in terms of incorporating technology, because we're all about being online. So in
Mhm.
terms of incorporating technology in your teaching and learning, how did you do that?
So for me, I think I mainly taught on site, and with the pandemic, I think every single teacher in the world has had to upskill themselves. So the first thing is that if you've not done something online, then definitely start train yourself up. There's so many webinars, free access to resources to learn how to embed digital literacy, and use your digital literacy and embed digital tools. What I did was definitely did the training, sort of learned how to use things that I was familiar with, but I hadn't used them in quite the same way before. But arranging and teaching online does require a little bit of expertise. You need to learn a little bit more and be able to use it well. So learning how to use Zoom or Teams if you're with an organization, looking at the other resources that are so widely available like quizzes, Kahoot, Quizlet. There are, I mean, even the learner's own technology can be used. So if they've got voice recorders, practicing the pronunciation, sending the recordings. Telegram is something we have used a lot in our sessions recently, because it's not only a communication tool between the learners and the tutors, but it can be used for homework. It can be used to, ask questions as well. So I think that when you're doing online learning, you've got to use the tools that are available and be familiar with them, feel comfortable about using them.
Definitely. And I think you do that quite well. I noticed that the homework and everything, the students try their best to use, and it became kind of the norm, isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
right.
they use the Telegram as a form of communication. We're probably promoting Telegram here, but but it is a fantastic tool because I
It
can see
is
that you can feel
absolutely. I
like
mean,
a community,
yeah.
and they work together, and
Hmm.
they use it in many ways for voice notes,
Hmm.
video notes.
That's right.
Everything in there incorporates the learning of English, which is perfect. Definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, like just last week, one of the students said, "Oh, can you?" The links were embedded onto the website, and they said, "Could you send me the links on Telegram? It'll just make it easier so I can use my phone." And that's what we did. And it was like another new thing that we hadn't really thought about, but naturally it came up, and they've used it. So I sent the links directly to them, and they were able to use it on their phone straight away, rather than like having to go on to just simply. It just that ease, making things easy for the learners makes encourages them and makes them feel more comfortable about learning as well. So if it's accessible, definitely why not go for it and use it. And the other thing that I do like about Telegram, because we do use it, is there is that privacy feature. So in terms of managing safeguarding, in terms of data protection and so on, we can keep that information confidential. We don't share our personal details, we don't share information, which is another thing that I really like about using Telegram in our classes as well.
No, it is, and that is a big thing for us.
Mm,
We need to make sure our students are safe.
definitely.
You can keep your phone number safe. You
Hmm.
can make sure that no one sends you any texts if you don't want.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
keeps it more private. Whereas if
Absolutely.
you're in another platform, usually people have access to your phone number,
That's
have
right.
access to text you if you don't
Hmm.
want them to
Hmm.
So you can ask, just your contacts can
Yeah.
contact you.
Yeah.
And the people in the group, that's why we have that group that is just for the session. So every single class we've got have those in place. So they
Mhm.
have a form of communication with the teacher and between themselves while studying. I think
That's
that's the
right.
main thing.
Yeah.
And for homework, it has proven very effective
Definitely.
alongside our website that is very complete with all the
D-
resources in terms of
Yeah.
forms.
Yeah.
We have quizzes, we
Yeah.
have the PowerPoints embedded, the recorded sessions.
Yeah.
So that brings them together very
Yeah.
easily. So I don't see yet anyone joining in. So we'll carry on with our own
Hmm.
questions. And one of the things I would like to ask, because everyone, when they're learning English, they are like, I don't know where to start. And I know you have really good ideas. So, what would be the three things you advise the students to take away from this session?
So I thought about this, and the first thing that I always say to learners is that, identify your goals so they know why they've come to learn English. And it is usually because of work or further study. But what they need to be able to do is be consistent. I think that is one of the most important things, is to be consistent with your learning. Don't just rely on what you've done in class. Take what you've learned in class and go home and review that work. If you've got homework, complete it as soon as possible rather than leaving it later on, because it becomes quite difficult to manage because we have so many things going on. And if we don't set time aside to learn, review, and practice, we will forget about it. It's one of those things that's come up even just recently with some learners who said, "Oh, I've not been able to do the homework." And I said, "Okay, let's have a look at your time management. Let's have a look at when you could do it. Here are some suggestions." Sometimes it's the student tutor supporting the student. Sometimes the student recognizing themselves how to organize their time to be able to get something done. And if they're consistent week on week, they will see that in progress themselves, because that's the learners that are going to continue improving, the ones that put in that additional effort themselves. Just relying on your teacher to teach you is just not enough. It's never enough. You've always got to take what you're learning and use it yourself. So that's the first thing. Be consistent with your learning. Don't just look at the time that you've got with your teacher. Look at some time that you've got to take out yourself and keep doing it on a regular basis. And the second thing I would say is to make sure that they keep on managing what they've got to do in terms of collaboration. I think that's really, really important. Collaboration is key for learning. Usually, people think if that's my tutor, they're going to tell me everything and I'm going to learn and that's it, I'm done. No. Use the people that are in your class, because they have got an immense amount of knowledge and understanding, and they'll be able to support you, whether it might be through translating something, it might be simply explaining it in a simpler way in English that supports them. So collaboration is actually one of the most important things that I think that people can do, is collaborate. And with us, with our learners, what they do is they don't only just communicate with me, they communicate with each other. So they support each other, and that builds a really good community of learners, because they're developing the independent study skills, they're developing how to be empathetic as well. And I think it's such an important thing for them to be able to do. um, and then the last thing is to manage what you've got to do, because if you are not managing your daily tasks and what you've got to do, it can become quite difficult. So it's in terms of, you can keep studying, but if you're not giving yourself time, that's not going to work out for you. So being consistent, managing your time, and collaborating are three of the things that I think work really effectively for learners. And it's for the same for staff as well, for tutors. If you are doing a certain level of teaching, maintain that consistency and maintain how you're doing what you've got to do. But time management is really important for students that are studying online, because they've got to be present, they've got to come to their classes, they've got to organize their time and make sure that that is their study time and they're focused on it and dedicated on it. So I think those things are really important.
They are, Simon, and you just raised a few ones, and I like the fact that you said it is consistency. It's not just for our students, but
Yeah.
also from the tutor perspective. We all
Yeah.
come together to make sure the students have that consistent every
Yeah.
week. and they
Yeah.
have resources for them to actually get organized.
Yeah.
And the way we structure everything is to make sure they actually have time with us and they don't have no interruptions around them. I know
That's
some
right.
of the adult learners have a busy life and have children running around, and it's the first rule we say:
Mhm.
you have to book that time just for yourself. This is your
Absolutely.
time, because
Hmm.
they have sometimes just once a week the sessions with us, so that is precious time. Also, if they have other people in the household that are learning English, we encourage them to speak English with them. So
That's
the
right.
community side
Yeah.
is within the class and also outside the class,
Hmm.
because they can learn a lot from it. And I think we encourage our students to do that. And
Yeah.
it's key. And if you guys have anyone on the other side of LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, if you want to ask any questions, how to get comfortable with speaking English, please type in the chat box or in the comments below, and we'll answer as well. But all those 3 points that Simon raised
Yeah.
is phenomenal, because I see that's how our students are kind of eased into it, and they
Yeah.
know they need to study. And we have an internal joke with the students as well. Simon, you're probably better at telling them.
Well, I say to them, if you can go to the bathroom and spend 10 minutes browsing through Instagram, maybe use that time. Because I'm sorry, but the bathroom is one of the places that you can hide away from people and you will be less likely to be disturbed than when you're doing anything else. So I have said to students, especially who've got children or who have just got a lot of things going on, just hide away for 10 minutes and, like go ahead and do a little bit of practice, do a little review, use what you're learning, because it helps. It really does help when you're being consistent with what you're doing. So if you need a little bit of an escape, just go to the bathroom. Just go to the
That's it.
bathroom and just go ahead, do a bit of practice, do a bit of study, a bit of communication, and then like that's it. And you've done something, because one of the biggest things is when you have been able to tick off, I've done this. I've completed my homework. I've sent this email or I've sent this text to sort of demonstrate what I've got to do. You get the sense of accomplishment. You feel great that you've done it, and then it encourages you to feel go ahead and do it more regularly. So I think definitely use your time and use whatever facilities available and go for it.
At the moment, we believe, yeah, definitely the bathroom is one, especially with so many people still working from home
Oh
and
yeah.
having their children around. Soon is
Yeah.
going to be the holidays. Uh,
Hmm.
we need to use the resources we have
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
And as long as
Definitely.
they complete their task and they see the progress over time, it's phenomenal to see that happening. And it was great, Simon, to see you here and share your tips for the students, for them to progress on to the next level and to learn with us as well at the Anywhere Academy.
No
We're
problem.
coming to an end. We don't have any questions at the moment, but we might have comments. We will answer those comments as soon as we see
Hmm.
them, and is for you to participate. And if you have any questions for our following sessions, is all about our students, parents, and our tutors as well. So please share the live sessions with your family members, your network. It's really important for them to know that we started doing these live sessions once a month,
Yeah.
and we'll bring all the hints and tips. And obviously, if you have something we want to see on our lives, just let us know and we'll do that. We'll bring Saima or the specialist in the area of study tips or maths or
Hmm.
anything that you actually need to improve your skills. That's what we want from these sessions.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasure. Saima, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon and carry on. You're doing wonderfully with our learners.
Thank you.
The adult learners are doing really well, and I can't wait for them to progress
Thank
on
you
to the
so
next
much.
level. Thank you.
Thank
Guys,
you.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.